To attain moksha, especially for whom? To attain moksha, especially for whom? ನಿನ್ನೆದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಹಿಂದೆ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. Yes, to attain moksha, especially for whom? To attain moksha for the common people. That's very good. To attain moksha for the common people. So there was hierarchy was there, upper class, lower class during the religious reformers, upper class, lower class, caste system was there. Only the upper class people could attain moksha. Such type of beliefs were there. So these religious reformers tried to bring unity in the society by teaching the religious thing to all the people, all without any caste, They thought, the religious, but they said that all can attain moksha with the complete surrender to God. Complete surrender to God, all can attain. Only the way was changed, but the aim was same. The aim was same, but to reach that aim, the way was different. Basavana, Kayakave Kailasa. To earn your bread, work. That is the main thing. Kayakave, work is worship. But today we are going to study regarding the another place, the second part of that same movement, religious reformers movement. The same part, same thing, the second part. Here got a little bit of differences. So now here the totally regarding the caste, here comes the different. Society has been changed. Society has been changed. Caste system is there, but another caste has been entered towards the Indian society. So there is a class war, we can say caste war. Hindu, Muslim. So to bring unity among the Hindu and Muslim, so this Bhakti Panth paid a way. This Bhakti Panth paid a. So today we are going to study regarding the Bhakti Panth. Today we are going to study regarding the Bhakti Panth. Bhakti Panth. So Bhakti. So today we are going to study regarding the Bhakti Panth. Bhakti Panth. So here, just to listen to me now. No opening the textbook here, just listen to me. Bhakti Panth, the emergence of the Bhakti movement is important features of the medieval India. So medieval India means especially the Delhi Sultanate, Mughals, Marathas, Bahmani Sultans, Vijayanagara, Kingdom, all they were in the medieval India itself. All they were in the medieval India itself. So here, the emergence of the Bhakti movement is an important feature in the medieval India, especially in the medieval India. The concept of mukti has found an important place in the Indian tradition. Concept of mukti. It has found an important place in the Indian religion and the spiritual thoughts. In the tradition of the Indian spiritual thoughts, the various paths to attain moksha have been advocated. The various paths to attain moksha have been advocated by the Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanacharya, Basavana, etc. As a result, Jnana Marga, Bhakti Marga, Karma Marga, Yagna Marga have been considered the important part. Considered the important part of the path to attain moksha. So here, various philosophers like social reformers advocated the liberal Bhakti Panth. So Bhakti means pure faith to God, or Bhakti means a pure faith in God. Bhakti. We all are having our own faith in God. We all are having our own faith in God. So here, a bhakti means a pure faith in God. So surrender oneself to God and the pure faith in God was emphasized. Surrender oneself to God and to have a faith in God. So this was been emphasized. This was been emphasized in a bhakti pad. They're trying to include a sense of brotherhood among the people and also educate equality among the religion. So here in the medieval India, there was a difference of religion. In the medieval India, there was a difference of religion. But during this religious reformers movement, there was a difference. There we cannot find the difference of religion. Only the difference of the caste system has been found there. But here in the medieval India, there is the one more thing. The difference of religion has been Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, etc., etc. Difference of religion. Difference of religion. So here, they're trying to bring oneness. They worship God who had names like Rama, Krishna, Allah, etc. They advocated Bhakti Marga as a path of the attaining Mukti. The another absolute belief of God and total surrender to God were the basic tenets of the Bhakti Pad. What is that? The advocate of Bhakti were absolute belief in God, absolute belief in God, and total surrender to God was the main aim of the Bhakti Pad. And during the Bhakti Pad, Sufism grew as parallel development of the Bhakti Pad in Islam. Sufism grew as a parallel development of the Bhakti Pad. Parallel development of the Bhakti Pad. So influence. The mutual influence can be found in the both the movement. Mutual influence can be found in the both the movement. How the Bhakti Pad emerged in the Hinduism? In the same way, the Bhakti Pad, the Sufism emerged in the Islam. Bhakti Pad reached people of all the section of the society. Bhakti Pad reached the people of all the section of the society due to its pro-people stand. The saints who emerged during this Pad expressed their bhakti in the native language. Saints who emerged during the Bhakti Pad expressed their bhakti or expressed their thoughts, expressed their writing in the native language. In the native language. The language which was known to the common people. So India, land of many languages. India was the land of many languages. India was the land of many languages. Due to that, in the Bhakti Pad, the leaders or the promoters of the Bhakti Pad, they preached in the local language. For example, Kanakadasa and Purandaradasa in Kannada itself. Shishinwala Sharif in Kannada itself. Ramananda, so he was from the northern India, he taught in Hindi itself. Understood? So like that, they taught in their native language. Guru Nanak, he taught in the Sikh language itself. So this was another important movement or another important thing in the, which we can see in the Bhakti Pad. You can see in the Bhakti Pad. So Bhakti Pad. So this was regarding the Bhakti Pad. So among the important people or the among important religious or important persons of the Bhakti Pad or the saints of the Bhakti Pad, Ramananda, Namadeva, Kabir, Guru Nanak, Mirabai, Chaitanya, Raidas, Surdas were the important preachers or the leaders or the saints of the Bhakti Pad. Saints of the Bhakti Pad. In northern India, these all were from the northern India. Purandaradasa, Kanakadasa, Shishinwala Sharif are the important Bhakti saints of the southern India. These are the important Bhakti saints of southern India. So first we will study regarding the Ramananda. 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 So Ramananda was born in the Brahmin family in the Allahabad. Ramananda was born in the Brahmin family of Allahabad. Ramananda was the follower of the Ramanujacharya. Remember this thing. I have said already for teaching the Ramanujacharya. Ramananda was the follower of the So Ramananda was born in the Brahmin family in the Allahabad. He was a follower of the Ramanujacharya's philosophy. He was a follower of the Ramanujacharya's philosophy. He established a Vaishnava religious school based on love and devotion. He established the Vaishnava religious school based on love and devotion. He traveled to the several parts of the northern India and preached regarding his sect. He traveled to the several parts. He traveled all over the northern India and preached regarding preached and popularized the worship of Rama and Sita. Or the worship of Rama and Sita. Who? Ramananda. Varanasi was the center of his activity. Varanasi was the center of activity of the Ramananda. Varanasi was the center of activity of the Ramananda. He conducted the caste system and allowed people of every caste to join his sect. He conducted the caste system and allowed every sect of people to join his sect. Kabir was one of the followers. He preached in Hindi. Kabir was one of the followers of the Ramananda. He preached in Hindi. Kabir was one of the followers of Ramananda. He preached in Hindi. So next, we'll move towards the Kabir Das. He was also called as the Kabir Das. Kabir from 1440 to 1510. Kabir. So Kabir was another saint who lived in the northern India during this time. Kabir was another saint who lived in the northern India during this time. He was born in the family engaged in the weaving work called Julas. ನೇಯೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಬಟ್ಟೆ ನೇಯೋದು. ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರೋದು in Varanasi. He was a student of Ramananda and spent most of his time at Varanasi. He began to preach his new philosophy. He condemned the caste system and multiple idol worship. Murti Pujana virodhistu. Multiple idol worship. And declared God is one and he is been same for both Hindus and Muslims. Kabir is the first one to say like that. God is one. And he is same for both Hindus and Muslims. So this was been said by the Kabir Das. Kabir. He tried to bring about the harmony between the two religions. He tried to bring religious harmony between the two religions. Or the two religions. He preached Hindi. The common man's language, like his guru. He preached in Hindi. It was a common language in the northern India during those times. So he preached in Hindi itself, a common language. Why? Because people would understand it easily. What they want to say and what is their aim, so that people understand easily. He reached more people. Kabir composed couplets known as dohas. Kabir composed couplets known as dohas. A short prayer song. Hindus and Muslims recited these dohas today in northern India. The followers of Kabir are known as Kabir Panthis. Remember this thing. The followers of Kabir are known as Kabir Panthis. So meaning Kabir Panthis, meaning travelers who go to the path of Kabir. Kabir preached the greatness of the humanists that goes beyond the caste. That goes beyond the caste. The religion, caste, and religion boundaries. So Kabir is the main religious and social reformer of India. Kabir Das, or Kabir is the one of the important social and religious reformers in India. Kabir. So next we'll move towards the another important Chaitanya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's been also called as the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya from 1486 to 1533. Chaitanya was one of the famous saints of the Bhakti movement. He was been also called as the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was born in a Brahmin family in the Naida in Bengal. He took Diksha at the age of 25 and became disciple of Sri Krishna. He became disciple of Sri Krishna. And he lived in Mathura and Vrindavan for many years. He preached that the difference of caste and can be removed by discipline. Difference of caste can be removed by discipline. So here, Ramananda, he was the follower of the Rama and Sita. He preached. He praised Rama and Sita. Kabir the same thing. Chaitanya. Chaitanya. He praises Krishna, Lord Krishna. So here, he popularized the worship of Krishna. He composed many devotional songs in praise of Krishna. He opposed the caste system and attempted to bring the sense of brotherhood among the people. His philosophical thoughts and teachings are collected in a book called Chaitanya Charitamrita. His philosophical thinking and thoughts have been collected in a book called Chaitanya Charitamrita. Remember this, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So here, Chaitanya, he preached in the native language, Bengali language. So next comes the Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak. Another advocate of the Bhakti movement was Guru Nanak, who had the religious learning right from the childhood itself. Guru Nanak, right from the childhood itself. He was born in Talwandi, which is in Pakistan. At present, it is in Pakistan, Talwandi. I think recently there was a killing of Sikhs in Pakistan. Pakistan. And highway from road from India to Talwandi, a direct road is there. But now it has been, at present it has been closed. And it is after the traveling around the many years, he established the religious centers at Kartarpur on the river Ravi banks. So Kartarpur project, it is in Pakistan. So there is a recently Talwandi and in Kartarpur, 6 have been killed by the bomb explosion, by the terrorist bomb explosion in Pakistan. Remember this thing. And he made his followers to sit and to eat together, irrespective of caste and creed. He started Langar, a community kitchen where food is being prepared and catered to all. This became a scared place for the followers. It was later called as the Gurudwara. It is later called as the Kartarpur Gurudwara. It is called as Kartarpur Gurudwara. He preached that the God is one and opposed the idol worship. He preached that God is one. He opposed the idol worship. He emphasized good deeds and moral life. He had followers in Hindus as well as in the Muslims community. His followers were called as Sikhs. The followers of Guru Nanak are called as Sikhs. His preachings are compiled in Guru Granth Sahib. His preachings are compiled in the Guru Granth Sahib, which is been kept in the Gurudwaras. It is called as the Adi Grantha by the Sikhs. It is kept in gurudwaras and worshipped by them. It is kept in gurudwaras and worshipped by them. Kept in gurudwaras and worshipped by them. That is one of the important aspects. So next, it has been called as the Mirabai. Next, another important saint is the Mirabai. Mirabai. The another name of the Bhakti movement is the Mirabai, who was the princess of Mewar. Who was the princess of Mewar? Mirabai was the princess of Mewar. So another important name of the Bhakti movement is the Mirabai. How Akkamadevi is there in Karnataka? Same way we can say compare Mirabai. So she renounced the life of the luxurious and became the most devoted follower of the Lord Krishna. The most devoted follower of the Lord Krishna. Though she had married to the Rajput princess, she left all the worldly things and became the disciple of Ravidas, a saint who was from the untouchable caste. Saint Ravidas. He was called as Raidas also. So she was the follower of the Saint Ravidas. The follower of Saint Ravidas. She composed songs and devotional towards the Krishna. These are called as bhajans. These are called as, even today, the bhajans of Mirabai are world famous. Krishna bhajans, they are world famous. She criticized the calm and the superior status of the high caste people in the bhajans. These bhajans are very popular even today in Rajasthan and Gujarat states. Like this, the many other reformers tried to bridge the gap between the religious and the caste in the different parts of India. Because they all tried to bring oneness in the people. But their attempts were being successful, and in some areas they were not successful. So in the same way, many other bhakti movements have been started. For example, Vithoba temple at Pandharpur on the banks of the river Bhima in Maharashtra was the center of the bhakti movement. So you can say that Vakri cult. It was the center of the Vakri cult. Jnaneshwara and Namadeva, Ekananta Tukarama, Ramdas were the famous saints of the new sect, which started around the Vithoba temple. It is called as the Vakri cult. And next, Purandaradasa, Kanakadasa were the foremost among the Bhakti movement in Karnataka. Purandaradasa, Kanakadasa. They are the foremost among the Bhakti movement in Karnataka. And their path is known as the Dasa Parampare. Their path is known as the Dasa Parampare or Dasa Sahitya also. Dasa Sahitya or Dasa Parampare. They are. And at the same time, Sufi saints emerged. Sufi saints. At the same time, Sufi saints emerged. So this we can say that it belongs to the Islam community. So Sufi saint around from the Persia. At that time, the Persian so coming and going from the Persia was common. The rulers were Muslim, Delhi Sultanate, and from the Mughals, the rulers were Muslim. So they arrived from Persia and settled in different parts of India. They have been called as Pir. Pir means Pir is equal to teacher. Pir means teacher. Pir Baba. In Islam or in Sufi, they are called as Pir Babas. Since they were the Korsi woolen cloth called shawl. Korsi woolen cloth called shawl. Korsi woolen cloth. Woolen cloth. Sai Baba ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಶಿರಡಿ ಸಾಯಿ ಬಾಬಾ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ. Korsi woolen cloth. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೈಟಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ರು ಸೇಮ್ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್. Korsi woolen cloth called shawl. So these Muslim saints were called Sufis. These Muslim saints were been called as Sufis. So that has been called as the Sufi movement. It has been called as the Sufi movement also. They preached that it was possible to reach God or Allah through the love and devotion. They preached that to reach God, Allah, with the love and devotion. They emphasized the importance of the respecting people of all the classes. They believed that dance and music filled with the devotion can take us to the closer to the God. Dance and music are the Western dance music. The dance with the bhakti. Dance with the bhakti, which was devoted to the Lord. They composed many songs in Urdu and Hindi to proclaim the importance of devotion. The poetic work of Mirgawat of Qutubban, Padmawat of Malik Muhammad Jiyasi uphold the Sufi philosophy. The poetic work of Qutubban and Malik Muhammad Jiyasi upholds the Sufi philosophy. The Sufi cult has presence all over India. There are around 12 different groups among these Sufis. 12 different Sufis. 4 among them are very important. Bidar, Kalburgi, Vijaypur, and other places of the northern Karnataka are the important place of the Sufism. Both the Hindus and the Muslims take part in the religious ceremony called Urus. Both the Hindus and the Muslims take part in that particular Urus. Even today in northern Karnataka, if you go to the northern Karnataka, both Hindus and Muslims take part in that Muharram Urus. Even today. So that takes place in the center. The rituals are very much alive even today. Urus, it is very much alive in the northern Karnataka. Especially that is being celebrated during the time of the Muharram. Means they tried to bring the unity among the Hindus and the Muslims. What the gap was there, they tried to build a bridge between the Hindus and the Muslims. So next we move toward the Shishinala Sharifa, right away. This one. Shishinala Sharifa. Shishinala Sharifa. He was being called as Sharifat also. He was being called as the Sharifat also. So even today his songs have been very famous. Even today his songs are Kodagana Koli Gita, Taravalla Tamburi songs. All are being made by this particular person, Shishinala Sharifa. He was one of the God itself in those days. He helped the people, he cured the people. Common local language. So Iman and Hunjamma are the parents. He was born in the Shishinala at the present Shiggavi Taluk of the Gadag district in the 1890. Shiggavi Taluk in the 1890. Imam named his son Muhammad Sharif as per the suggestion of the Qaji. As per the suggestion of the Qaji, he was named as the Muhammad Sharif. Sharif is a Parsi word. It means a man who had an ideal goal, or a man of a worth and respected the all. Sharif grew up with the worldly man like his name. Sharif was influenced by Islam, Veerashaiva, and Vedic philosophers from him the young age itself. So Sharif was influenced by all the three. Govinda Bhatta, a knowledge person, became his guru. Remember this thing. Govinda Bhatta, he is Muslim, but his guru is Hindu. Govinda Bhatta was a knowledge person, was the guru of Shishinala Sharif. He opened the school for the children of Shishinala to provide the education to them. His education provided the hostility, vision of life for his students. Sharif, who was always interested to move around with the people, participated in the fairs, drama shows, and in the various religious festivals that were arranged around the Shishinala. He became the harbinger of the Riyavat literature, which was the part of the Muharram celebration. Which was the part of the Muharram celebration. Riyavat literature. Remember this thing? He took part in the Riyavat literature. Riyavat literature. He took part in the Riyavat literature. He took part. He became the harbinger. Means he became the founder of the Riyavat literature, which is the part of the Muharram celebration. Which is the part of the Muharram celebration. Which is the part of the Muharram celebration. So Shishunala Sharifa, even today, just earlier I've been said, even today around the Urus is being celebrated. So ಯಾವಾಗಾರ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಶಿಶುನಾಳ ಶರೀಫರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಉಂಟು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ಮುದ್ದಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಆ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಶಿಶುನಾಳ ಶರೀಫ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರ ಪವಾಡ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇತ್ತು, ದೇವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ಗೋವಿಂದ ಭಟ್ರ ಅವ್ರ ಗುರು ಜನರೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಾಂಗ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಂಟಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಚಂದ ಹಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಹಾಡಿದಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಸಾಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಥ ಉಂಟು. So my meeting will end now. Just listen. Meeting will end now and join in the same link because I will complete the lesson. I will complete the lesson and I want to show some images. Join with the same link after 2 minutes. Now I will end the meeting. All the 36 members I need now. All the 36 members are there. All the 36 members are there. So I will complete the lesson. Join with the same link fast. No, sir,